Introduction to Psalm 91, The Secret Place. Psalm 91 holds a profound mystery and invitation into a hidden realm of divine refuge. It reveals a sacred place where the storms of life cannot penetrate, a sanctuary of peace and protection designed by God Himself. More than just poetic words, it offers a powerful promise of safety, strength, and unwavering faith. This psalm isn't merely about survival. It's a declaration of victory over fear, danger, and uncertainty. It unveils a spiritual dwelling where those who trust in God can experience His nearness and unfailing presence. The opening verse introduces us to the foundation of this psalm. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This single sentence speaks volumes about the believer's relationship with God. To dwell is to live intentionally in His presence, to remain, to abide, and to find rest under His care. It's not a temporary visit. It's a permanent residence in the heart of God. The secret place represents intimacy with the Creator, a place of deep fellowship where trust is built and faith is strengthened. But what makes this secret place so powerful? The answer lies in who God is. He is the Most High, the supreme ruler of heaven and earth, whose authority surpasses all earthly powers. He is also the Almighty, emphasizing His strength and ability to protect those who take refuge in Him. These two names of God remind us that when we dwell in His presence, we are covered by the One who holds all things in His hands. Nothing is too great for Him, and nothing can stand against His will. To abide under the shadow of the Almighty paints a beautiful picture of divine protection. A shadow is only cast when something stands between you and the source of harm. Here, God Himself stands as a shield between us and every danger, offering safety in His shadow. This imagery speaks of proximity. When we dwell close to God, we are shielded by His power. Just as a traveler finds relief from the scorching sun by standing in the shade of a great tree, so we find peace and protection when we rest in God's shadow. Psalm 91 begins by reminding us that God's protection is available, but it requires a decision on our part to dwell, to remain, and to trust. This isn't just a promise of external safety, but also of inner peace. When we choose to live in this secret place, fear loses its grip and faith rises. It's a place where we don't just survive. We thrive, knowing that the Most High is our refuge, and the Almighty is our protector. So, as we begin this journey through Psalm 91, prepare your heart to explore the depths of God's promises. This is more than a passage of Scripture, it's an invitation to a life transformed by trust, a life anchored in the secret place of the Most High. The secret place of the Most High, a realm of divine refuge. The secret place of the Most High isn't merely a hidden location or physical sanctuary, it's a spiritual reality, a dimension of intimacy where we experience the very essence of God's presence. This place transcends earthly circumstances, offering an unshakable refuge that no storm can breach, no enemy can invade. It's not a fleeting visit to safety. It's a permanent dwelling, an intentional decision to live in communion with the Almighty. To dwell means more than just being present, it means settling down, finding rest, and making God your eternal home. It is a conscious act of faith, where you choose to remain close to Him in every season, whether in joy or trial. In this secret place, distractions fade, fear diminishes, and the overwhelming peace of God takes root in your soul. It's here that we discover the fullness of His love, protection, and power, and in this intimate space, we find ourselves covered by His shadow. What is the significance of this shadow? It represents divine covering, a shield that surrounds us from every danger, both seen and unseen. Just as a mighty tree provides shade from the burning sun, God offers us His shadow to guard us from the scorching trials of life. In His shadow, we are hidden, safe from harm, protected from the attacks of the enemy. But this shadow only falls on those who choose to dwell near. It's a promise of proximity. Protection is found not in distance, but in closeness to God. Picture a young bird huddled beneath its mother's wings. The world outside may be chaotic, with storms raging and predators lurking, yet beneath those wings, the bird is untouchable, warm, safe, and calm. This is the imagery Psalm 91 evokes when speaking of the secret place. God, like the mother bird, spreads his wings wide, offering a place of security where no harm can penetrate. Under his wings, we find rest. In his presence, we find life. The secret place is not reserved for a select few. It is open to all who long for a deeper connection with God. It is a call to draw near, to abandon fear, and to rest in his unchanging promises. In this place, we are not spectators but participants in his divine protection, wrapped in the very shadow of his might. When life overwhelms and the world feels uncertain, the secret place becomes an anchor for our souls, reminding us that we are not alone, we are covered by the Almighty himself. This is the beauty of dwelling in the secret place. It transforms our hearts, renews our minds, and fortifies our spirits. It's not a momentary escape from life's troubles. It's a way of life, a daily choice to live under the shelter of the Most High. In his shadow, we find everything we need: peace in chaos, strength in weakness, and hope in despair. To dwell in the secret place is to embrace a life of unshakable confidence, knowing that the God of all creation stands as our eternal refuge. God's promise of protection, deliverance in every battle. Let's dive deeper into one of the most reassuring parts of Psalm 91. God's promise of deliverance. Picture this: life is like a vast, unpredictable wilderness, full of hidden snares and unseen dangers. Yet, in the middle of all this, God gives us an extraordinary promise. Surely, he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. This isn't a maybe or a vague hope, it's a definitive surely. An unshakable guarantee from the Creator of the universe. Now, what's a fowler? In ancient times, a fowler was someone who caught birds by setting cunning traps. Think of it as life's hidden traps, situations that try to ensnare us. Whether they come in the form of unexpected setbacks, harmful relationships, or spiritual attacks. The beauty of God's promise is that he doesn't just help us avoid these traps. He delivers us when we are caught. That's right, when life's snare tightens, when it feels like there's no escape, God steps in, breaks the trap, and sets us free. His deliverance isn't partial. It's complete and perfect. Then there's the perilous pestilence, a poetic way of describing deadly diseases, plagues, or any threat that spreads fear and destruction. Today, we can relate this to pandemics, personal health crises, or even the overwhelming anxiety that grips so many. But here's the good news: God's protection isn't limited by what we see. While the world scrambles for solutions, he offers us a secret place of peace where no sickness can overtake us. This isn't just poetic comfort. It's a call to trust in God's active vigilance. His protection isn't passive or distant, it's hands-on. He's always watching, always guarding, always delivering. Imagine a vigilant shepherd, eyes fixed on the flock, ready to fight off any predator that dares to come near. That's how God watches over you. He doesn't wait for danger to strike before he acts. He's already working behind the scenes, ensuring your safety. In a world full of visible and invisible threats, this promise brings a deep assurance: we are not alone. And we are never without hope. God's promise of deliverance reminds us that while danger may surround us, it cannot overpower us. We live under the watchful eye of the Almighty, whose hand is ready to pull us from any snare and shield us from every pestilence. So, when fear tries to creep in, remind yourself of this truth: God's protection is active. His deliverance is sure, and his promises never fail. No trap is too clever, no disease too powerful for the one who guards your life. You are covered, protected, and delivered now and always. Isn't it amazing to know that you can walk through life with confidence, knowing that God's got you every step of the way? That's the power of Psalm 91. It's not just words on a page. It's a living, breathing promise for you to claim, right here, right now. The shining shield, a divine symbol of God's faithfulness. Imagine standing on a battlefield, not one of earthly wars, but the spiritual battlefield of life. The air is heavy with the memory of past struggles. Yet an overwhelming peace fills the atmosphere. In the center of this calm field, gleaming in the soft light of dawn, rests a shield and armor, untouched by the chaos that once raged around it. This is not ordinary armor crafted by human hands. It glows with a radiant light, as if forged by divine power itself, symbolizing God's faithfulness as our unshakable defense. The shield, shining brightly, reflects the morning sun, a symbol of God's unwavering promise to protect and defend. It is more than just metal, it embodies His truth, His word, and His unbreakable covenant with those who trust in Him. The light that bounces off its polished surface represents the power of His presence, a reminder that even when we walk through dark valleys, His glory surrounds us. The armor, resting beside the shield, speaks of readiness. Though the battle may have ceased for now, the armor remains prepared, waiting for the next challenge. It symbolizes the constant vigilance of God, who never slumbers nor sleeps. His faithfulness does not waver in times of peace or war. It is a perpetual covering over His people, a fortress that cannot be breached. All around, the battlefield lies still. The grass is soft and unbroken, as if no conflict had ever occurred. Yet there is an unspoken awareness that battles were fought here, battles of fear, doubt, and despair. And through it all, the shield and armor remain steadfast, untouched by the struggle, testifying to God's unyielding protection. This calm after the storm represents the peace that comes when we place our trust in the Almighty. His faithfulness doesn't just shield us from harm, it leaves us standing victorious, untouched by what sought to destroy us. Above the scene, the sky is painted in soft hues of gold and blue, symbolizing a new dawn, a new beginning, a promise of hope. Rays of light pierce through the lingering mist, as if heaven itself is declaring, I am with you. I am your shield, your refuge, your defender. This is the beauty of God's faithfulness, it stands through every storm, shines through every darkness, and brings peace after every battle. This image reminds us that life's battles are inevitable, but so is God's protection. The shield and armor symbolize His promise to always be there, ready to defend, ready to shelter. We are not called to fight alone, we are called to trust in His faithfulness, to rest in His presence, and to let Him be our defense. When we dwell in His secret place, the arrows of fear cannot touch us, and the swords of doubt cannot wound us. His faithfulness becomes our fortress and His presence our peace. In every battle you face, remember this, God's shield is ever before you, His armor ever around you. Fearless in the face of danger, a life anchored in God's assurance. Picture this, darkness falls. The world around you grows still, but your mind begins to race. Fear lurks in the shadows, fear of the unknown, fear of what might come. Yet Psalm 91 offers a promise so powerful. It silences the whispers of dread, you shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. These aren't mere poetic words. They are a declaration of fearlessness for those who dwell in the presence of the Most High. Fear is one of the greatest enemies of faith. It creeps in during life's darkest moments, when uncertainty looms and danger feels imminent. But here's the truth. Psalm 91 teaches us, fear loses its grip on the heart that trusts in God's protection. Whether it's the terror of night, representing unseen dangers, or the arrow that flies by day, symbolizing clear and present threats, the believer is shielded by an unbreakable promise, God is near. And where He dwells, fear cannot. Night and day encompass every moment of life, meaning there is no time, no season, when God's protection isn't active. The terror by night might be those hidden fears, the worries of tomorrow, the anxieties we can't quite name. The arrow by day represents visible dangers, challenges we see coming, threats that seem unavoidable. Yet God's promise covers them all. He assures us that no terror is too great, no arrow too swift for His vigilant watch. Imagine standing in the middle of a battlefield, arrows flying overhead, the world around you in chaos. Yet, instead of fear, your heart remains calm because you know you're surrounded by an invisible Shield, God's protection. This is the confidence Psalm 91 offers. It's not about ignoring the reality of danger. It's about knowing that danger has no power over you when you are hidden in the secret place of the Almighty. But how can we live without fear in a world filled with danger? The answer lies in trust. To trust God's promise is to anchor yourself in His unchanging character. He is faithful, steadfast, and ever-present. Fear may knock at the door, but faith opens it and declares, "I am not afraid, for my God is with me." This isn't blind courage. It's a confidence built on knowing who holds your life in His hands. Fearlessness in the face of danger doesn't mean the absence of challenges, it means living above them. It means recognizing that while danger may surround you, it cannot touch your soul because you are guarded by the one who never fails. It means walking through life with your head high, your heart steady, and your spirit unshaken, knowing that day and night, God's protection surrounds you like an impenetrable fortress. This is the power of faith. It turns fear into courage, uncertainty into confidence, and chaos into peace. When you trust in God's promise, fear loses its grip and you begin to live fearlessly, anchored in the assurance that He who watches over you neither slumbers nor sleeps. As Psalm 91 concludes with verses 14 to 16, we are given a promise so personal and profound that it seals the Psalms' message with divine assurance. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. These aren't just words, they are God's heart poured out to those who love and trust Him. He doesn't merely promise to protect. He promises to elevate, to rescue, and to honor those who cling to Him in faith. Imagine the Creator of the universe saying, "I will answer you." This isn't a distant deity. This is a loving Father who listens when you call and moves heaven and earth to rescue you in times of trouble. And the blessings don't stop there. God promises long life and salvation and eternal reward for those who dwell in His presence and place their trust in Him. Psalm 91 is more than a poetic passage. It's a treasure chest of promises, a divine contract sealed with God's faithfulness. It reveals a secret that was hidden for generations but is now made known. The secret place of the Most High is available to all who seek Him. This isn't a place you visit occasionally. It's a refuge where you are called to dwell. In this sacred shelter, fear dissolves, peace reigns, and God's protection surrounds you like a fortress. So, the next time you face uncertainty, fear, or the storms of life, remember the promises of Psalm 91. It's not just a psalm to read. It's a divine blueprint for living under God's unshakable protection. Rest in His shelter, trust in His unfailing promises, and walk with the confidence that comes from knowing you are safe in the arms of the Almighty. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey through Psalm 91. May you choose to dwell in the secret place of the Most High today and every day. Walk boldly in the assurance of His love, His protection, and His faithfulness, knowing that in Him you are truly safe and secure. God bless you. Like, share, and subscribe.